By LOLITA C. BALDOR, Associated Press. By the busload and planeload, National Guard troops were pouring into the nation's capital on Saturday, as governors answered the urgent pleas of U.S. defense officials for more troops to help safeguard Washington even as they keep anxious eyes on possible violent protests in their own states. Military leaders spent chunks of Thursday evening and Friday calling states in an unprecedented appeal for more National Guard troops to help lock down much of the city in the days before President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. In dribs and drabs, governors responded, some agreeing to send an extra dozen, 100 or even 1,000, while others said no. The calls reflect fears that violent extremist groups are targeting the city in the wake of the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6. The threats range from armed insurgents to possible attempts to plant explosive devices at so-called soft targets. But as Washington begins to resemble an armed camp, with more than 25,000 guard due in the city by early next week, concerns about violence at state capitals has grown. Oregon Governor Kate Brown said she turned down the federal request to send at least 100 more National Guard troops to D.C. "I didn't think that we could safely fill that commitment," Brown said. Oregon has already agreed to send 30 to Washington, but state leaders are worried about violence at the state capitol in Salem. Others agreed, setting off a dizzying torrent of military flights and convoys into the region. The peaceful transfer of power is a central tenet of American democracy, and Connecticut stands ready to aid in the protection of our country, said Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont, who had initially approved sending 100 guard and on Friday agreed to send 200 more. All told, more than 130 U.S. Air Guard flights in the past 72 hours have carried at least 7,000 Guard troops to Joint Base Andrews in Maryland, according to U.S. officials, who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss internal numbers. Thousands more are in buses and military trucks, thundering up highways toward Washington. Army General Dan Hokanson, chief of the National Guard Bureau, called adjutants general around the country, and others, such as Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy, called governors to seek help. McCarthy praised the states, saying defense and military officials are keenly aware of the threats they also are facing. The governors and the tags have been great. They helped us a lot, McCarthy told the Associated Press. That's the thing, that in the midst of a really horrible situation you're seeing the greatness of this country, everybody coming together and help each other get through this. What began in early January as a routine deployment of about 350 members of the National Guard to help with expected protests exploded over the past 2 weeks into a vastly greater operation to protect the inauguration and the U.S.